So tonight we're going to be talking about something that's super important, which is how you can stop missing money. And one of the reasons that it's important to me, and one of the reasons I think it's important to you, and if you don't mind, share the broadcast because I think that learning how to create money with your own two hands is arguably the best lesson that any woman can ever learn. Let me fix this volume. And the reason I say that's important is because for me, and I was talking about this earlier, is that we grew up thinking, thank you, Dee, for sharing the broadcast. Hey, Monique, good afternoon. We grew up thinking that in order for us to get more money, we had to get another job. And we were taught that if you get a good job and if you work hard, you were going to have this amazing life, right? So let me know how that worked out for you guys. We were also taught something that a lot of Black women took to heart, which is go to higher education, go to college, get a great education, and you're gonna have this amazing life, right? So we have a ton of African American women walking around right now with student loan debt and not this amazing job, not this high end job that we were promised, not this amazing life. We're still struggling in corporate America to make what everybody else is making. And if that's true for you, definitely say me in the chat. And in fact, women in general are severely underpaid in corporate America. Hey, Miss Joanne. And so it's something that you can do one or two things. Hey, Don, because they talked about it would take 150 years for us to close the wage gap between what women make and what men make. So you can either wait 150 years, which is about 3 generations, or you can take matters into your own hand and start to build a business. Because if you want to stop missing money, I don't mean a side hustle. I don't mean moonlighting. I don't mean, a couple of dollars here and there in a multi level marketing company. I mean, you need to take that same business acumen, those same business skills that you take and employ for other people every day and build yourself a reputable business, a real business. Number one, if you don't do that, you're missing out on all kinds of tax advantages. And I'm going to have a webinar just about wealth building coming up soon as I launch my new brand. But you're missing out. Thank you, Marnie, for sharing. On a ton of, thank you, Chanel, for sharing. You're missing out on a ton of tax advantages when you build your own business. And we were always taught, so let's talk about it real quick. We were always taught building a business would cost you more money in taxes. And it does. But it's not because you're making less, it's because you're making more. Anytime you make more money anywhere, thank you, Marnie, for starting a watch party, you're going to be subject to more taxes. You just are. And so um, I want you to realize that in order for you to really do something different, you're going to have to take some of the things that you were told and really ask yourself, are these things true? Is it true that I'm going to make more money in corporate America than I'm going to make in my own business? And if you take the right steps, then that is absolutely positively not true. Thank you, teacher, for sharing. So your best bet is to create a real business. And that's one of the things I love about the grant program we have going on right now is that you're going to walk away not just with a coaching certification, and there are 12 different kinds, but you're going to walk away with the strong man to build, the knowledge to build a real business the right way. Because just because you go get your business license doesn't mean that your business is built the right way. And that's something we had to learn when COVID came and they started giving out all this SBA loan money and all of this PPP money. A lot of people found out that their businesses were not built the right way. And when your business is not built the right way, it excludes you. It excludes you from being able to claim money on your taxes. It excludes you from a ton of different grants. It excludes you from a ton of different opportunities. So, learning how to build your business the right way is something that every person needs to learn. And again, if you don't already have a business, go to www.blackwomanequalpay.com, register to be one of the grant recipients, and get an opportunity to save some money as you build your business, which is something we got to realize. I was talking to one of my mentors the other day, and she talked about just how much money African American women and women in general are not making in their businesses. And it's sad. It is a sad state of affairs that we go to work and we help build these $1 million entities. Anybody, can anybody relate to that? If you can relate to that, go ahead and say me in the chat. We go help build these $1 million corporations. We work for bosses that can't even open a can of tuna without our help. We give any and everything to that job. We leave the job every day exhausted, overworked, underpaid, underappreciated. If you understand that, go ahead and type me in the chat. But yet we continue to go back because it's so instilled in us. It is so deeply instilled in us that this is where we're going to get our, as the old folks say, our comeuppance. That we don't know to do anything differently. And unfortunately, until we do something different, like start our own business, we're going to continue to be underpaid, overworked, working for somebody else, and making somebody else a millionaire. Somebody say, ouch. We're making millions. We think that because they're paying us 50, 60, $70,000 and we got a halfway decent house and a halfway decent car, we're thinking that, oh, we got it made, and we don't. They're paying us only a fraction of what they make off of our intellect, off of our ideas, off of our leadership. Somebody say, ouch. And at some point, you got to say to yourself, I believe in me enough. I am comfortable with me enough that if I can do it for them, I can do it for myself. And that is the biggest lesson that women have to learn, is that you don't have to share crop. You don't. But guess what you are going to have to do? And I don't say this because I'm a coach. I say this because if you don't do this, you're going to stay where you are. You've got to learn to invest in knowledge. That's another big story we've been told as women. And if you haven't shared this broadcast, make sure you share the broadcast. We've been told that we're super women and we got these capes on and we got these tights on. You don't hear me? And we run around trying to save the world. But who is coming to save you? I'm going to wait. I'm going to see what y'all say. You've been saving these people all your life. You saving your job and your church, your man and your children, your family, your community. But who is coming to save you? I'm going to wait. I'm going to see. Type in the chat. Who's coming to save you? So if you don't invest in the, and let me tell you what kind of knowledge you need to invest in. Can I just get real? Let me get really real. Everything that glitters is not gold. So that person over there telling you, come over here and pay me, I'm going to teach you how to build a brand. If they're not talking about money, run for the hills. Come over here. Let me help you start a business. If they're not talking about being profitable, run for the hills. Come over here. Let me help you get a certification. If they're not talking about you walking away from that certification with the ability to earn revenue, run for the hills. You've got to start looking at things as they are. Don't go take no classes on building a funnel if they're not going to be able to show you how to use that funnel to make money. Don't go take a class on email marketing and you ain't got nobody on your email list. Everything that glitters is not gold. And just because somebody tells you, oh, well, I'm making money, doesn't mean they're going to show you how to make money. And so then you get burned and then you give up. And then you go back to a job. But when a job burns you, you don't give up on a job. Anybody ever been fired? Go ahead and say me in the chat. Anybody ever been laid off? Reduction in force? Go ahead and say me in the chat. How many jobs have you lost? But when you lose jobs, you keep going back. When you have a business issue, you quit trying to build your business. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. The minute something doesn't go right in your business, you're ready to set it down. You're ready to quit. Oh, woe is me. But if you lost a job, you're out there the very next day looking for a job. You're out there maybe the same day looking for a job. So don't put more energy and effort behind finding another man's job than you do behind building your business. Invest in the knowledge you need to earn money. Somebody say earn dollar signs. Put some dollar signs in the chat because if your business is not making money, stop saying you have a business. Can we make an agreement? If your business is not making at least the amount of money that you're putting into it, stop saying you have a business because you don't. A business, by its very essence, is defined as being profitable. If you're not earning money, that's not a business. If your earnings are not consistently increasing, that's not a business. If you're not every day, if you don't have residual income, that's not a business. If money is not coming in every day, that's not a business. Invest. Guys, I got a membership that is $59 a month. When I set the price of the membership at $59 a month, and you can register for the membership at bit.ly/blackgirlcash2020. When I set the price of the membership at $59 a month, I said to myself, anybody who really wants to learn will join this membership. $15 a week. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to name something you spend $15 a week on. You spend $15 a week on food. You're probably saving $15 a week on gas because you're not going to work. You spend $15 a week on clothes, makeup, incidentals. So for you to not have a coach, not have any business direction, and not be willing to spend $15 a week on coffee, Monique, because that's only 2 cups at Starbucks. If you're doing anything, if you smoke, that's 2 days worth of cigarettes. That's that's a couple of pizzas a week, a bucket of chicken at KFC. It's a no-brainer. You cannot say, I'm going to be out here and have a business and not have the tools and the knowledge. $17 on a salad. Are you listening to me today? So you can't say, I want to be this big business entrepreneur and not be willing to invest $59 a month in your business. And then if you don't have a life coaching certification or a business coaching certification, a health and wellness coaching certification, a ministry certification, then go to www.blackwomanequalpay.com and invest in becoming credible. Part of the reason you don't believe in you is because you haven't had any official training. So this is what you do. You say, okay, I'm going to start this business and I'm going to charge just a little bit just to see if somebody buys. People will buy things regardless as to the price. Don't let the fact that you don't have any money be an indicator as to what other people say have. Somebody say, ouch. I want you to think about this. I want you to think real hard. How many times, and tell the truth in the chat, have you said to yourself, I'm going to do this program for single mothers, or I'm going to do this program for such and such. I'm going to do this program for senior citizens, or I'm going to do this program for people with mental health issues, and I'm going to make the price affordable. I'm going to make the price affordable because I know they don't have much money. How many times have you done that? Go ahead and say me in the chat if you've ever done that. How many times have you done that? How many times have you done that? And if you haven't shared this broadcast, share this broadcast. That's the cost of watching. Because I'm about to increase your revenue tonight. How many times have you done that? How many times have you looked at your own earnings, your own lifestyle, and said, well, nobody's probably going to pay me $5,000 for this or $10,000 for this because I don't have $5,000 or I don't have $10,000. You got to stop letting what you have be the prediction on what other people will spend. Thank you, Marnie, for telling the truth, because it's the truth. It is the truth. You're sitting there, and because you've been struggling, you say, well, I'm going to make this product cheap. I'm going to make this product inexpensive. You know why? Because, I really want people to be able to get it. I want people to be able to afford it. And I know I was struggling. People spend their money on what they want to spend their money on. People spend their money on what they want to spend their money on. It has nothing to do with they don't have the money. Do you understand that if they really want it bad enough, they will find the money? If they really want it bad enough, they will figure it out. And you're not helping them. You're not helping them by keeping the price low, because people don't respond to things when they don't have skin in the game. People respond best when they've had to sacrifice to get something. You'll find out. You'll find out. Number 4, how many of you, and I know ain't nobody gonna be honest but Marnie, how many of you do not have any residual income? Let me explain what residual income is. A job is not residual income. Why? Because if you stop going to work tomorrow, you stop getting paid. If you stop going to work tomorrow, you stop getting paid. Now, unless you have residual income set up in your business, if you stop working your business tomorrow, you stop getting paid. That's one of the beauties of this certification program. We're going to show you how to create not just your coaching program, But we're going to show you how to create residual income, because as women, we have no guarantee as to tomorrow. One of the first things you should create in any business is what? Residual income. Why? Because I can't guarantee my tomorrow. A couple of weeks ago, and it's my own fault, I had been using this chair that did not have, it wasn't ergonomic, but it was my favorite chair. And you guys know I'm at the computer all day, every day. So I'm using this chair. It's my favorite chair. It's not ergonomic. And all of a sudden, I started hurting my back, my shoulders, my wrists. Now, I make my living at a computer. So what happens to me if I don't have residual income and I can't go to the computer? Somebody tell me what happens. You go out of business. I want you to think about it. But being who I am, I not only have books to sell, workbooks to sell, journals to have, memberships, coaching. I can literally lay down and coach. So as long as I can open my mouth, I can make money. Do you have that same structure in your business? And if not, you need to go to www.blackwomenequalpay.com, sign up for that grant opportunity, get you one of these coaching certifications that's going to teach you how to create residual income in your business. It's mandatory. It's not a nice to have. It's not a, oh, that would be cute. It ain't nothing cute about residual income. We break down, especially in the age of COVID. People get sick. And then what happens? What happens? You don't have any revenue coming in. So that makes your anxiety even worse. Let's see if there's a water in there. That makes your situation even worse. So stop setting yourself up for failure. Residual income in your business is just like having short-term and long-term disability in your job. It's just like it. One day you're not going to be able to work. So guess what you have to do? You have to make arrangements. So you got to create some residual income. Another thing we don't do, we don't monetize our experience. Yesterday, I met with my membership and I was teaching them how to write newspaper articles. And a lot of them started out saying, I can't write. I'm not a good writer. A lot of things we're better at than we think. We just have never been taught. So, of course, once I taught them in like 30 minutes, like 10 or 12 people immediately wrote articles. I say that to say the articles that they wrote was based on their experience. When you write a book, that's based on your experience. When you teach a class, a lot of times it's based on your experience. We as women put ourselves down so much that we don't even realize how valuable our knowledge is. We don't realize how valuable our experience is. That's too late for caffeine. And we don't realize that somebody somewhere will pay us to teach them what we know. Do you know that? Somebody somewhere will pay you to teach them what you know. Everybody do me a favor. I want you to name one thing. Name one thing you know in the chat. Name one thing that people say, oh, she knows this and that. She's really good at this. Name it in the chat. I'm going to wait. Because sometimes when I do this, people say, oh, I'm not really good at anything. I remember one time I did a book writing class. And people were in there saying that they weren't good at anything. And I know we've raised kids, we've taken care of our parents, we've done $1 million worth of stuff. So all of us are good at something. So I want you to name one thing in the chat that you're good about. I'm going to wait. And the reason I'm waiting is because I want you to realize that everything you're missing is already in your hands. Look at that. Helping people stay motivated, managing people, how to talk about illness, making a wedding cake, how to get a fresh start after debt, how to grow hair, product development and bringing it to market, working with children, organizing events. Everybody. Now, how many of you realize somebody somewhere will pay you for that? How many? How many of you realize somebody somewhere will not only pay you for that, but they'll pay you a lot of money for that? Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever thought about the tens of thousands of dollars you could be making? Have you ever thought about the hundreds of thousands of dollars you could be making? And the only gap you have is you don't have anybody to teach you how to make your experience profitable. I want you to think about it. In the same way you invest in going to college, you need to invest in turning your experience into revenue. Guess what? It's easy. It's something you already are an expert at. It's something you're good at doing. It's something that you could call yourself an expert at. I want y'all to think about something. Can I tell y'all a quick story? I want to make this really real. And if you haven't shared the broadcast, make sure you share the broadcast. And if you haven't gone to www.blackwomanequalpay.com to check out the opportunities we have for you to get some certification so you can learn how to make money, make sure you do that today. I want you to think about something. I want you to look around you no matter where you are. And I want you to think. I want you to think about the chair you're sitting in. Somebody made that. They had an idea. They was tired of sitting on the ground. So they had an idea and they made a chair. and they turned around and sold the chair for money. I want you to think about the cup in your hand. Somebody got tired of drinking out of their hands. So guess what they did? They made a cup and they sold the cup for money. I want you to just look around from the shirt you got on, the pants, the hat, your acrylic nails, your bundle of hair. I don't care what you have on. That table you're sitting at, the desk you're sitting at, the kitchen you're standing in, the pot you cook food in, all of that was somebody's idea. And they said, wait a minute. If it's a good idea for me, then wouldn't it be a good idea for other people? And the only thing different that they did that you're not doing is they turned their experience into money. Was that a wow moment for anybody? I want you to tell me in the chat. Was that a awakening for anybody? Did anybody wake up when they heard that and say, "Oh man, you know that's kind of true, huh?" It wasn't nothing special about the Wright brothers. They just believed they could fly. It wasn't nothing special about Madame Curie. She just figured out that penicillin killed germs. It wasn't nothing special about Barack Obama. He just said, I believe I can be president. See, all of these people we got in this category of special. I'm not taking anything away from them. But what I'm saying is, maybe if you took your time and your energy, and let's just talk about the time and the energy you spend either complaining or talking about what you're not good at. Somebody say, ouch. Let's just take that time. I won't take your date night time. I won't take your movie watching time. I'm not gonna take that time. I'm not gonna take that time. I'm gonna take the time that you spend talking about what you don't have and what you can't do. And I'm gonna tell you, if you let me teach you how to make money, how to take those ideas, just like I taught that class in 30 minutes last night. I had somebody say, I'm not a good writer. And 30 minutes later, they were writing magazine articles. So maybe you're not good at it because you don't know what you're doing. Maybe you're just not good at it because you've never done it before. What makes so many people think that they can go from never having a business? You will never run a business in your life. But all of a sudden, like Oliver Twist, you think that you can go from never running a business to running $1 million business without having somebody that's made $1 million show you how to do it. That's not how it works. We as humans, we learn how to do everything from other humans. Let me teach you. Quit trying to figure it out by yourself. It only becomes frustrating and tiresome. How much longer you gonna work for somebody else and complain about what they don't give you? Hello? I used to do it. I used to complain about them not giving me a raise. Girl, guess what? That's their money. If it was your money, would you be giving all them people a raise? Hold on, let's think about it. We be complaining when we don't get no raise at the job, but that's their money. If that was your money, wouldn't you make people jump through hoops to get a raise? See, that's why it's got to be your money. Give yourself an increase. Give yourself a raise. Stop waiting on the rest of the world to give you something that you can get up, get out, and get by yourself. Stop being mad about what you don't have. And listen, if you're going to build a business, you got to focus on your profits. I see so many entrepreneurs that are busy, but they're not busy focusing on making money. I ask my clients every day, what's for sale? If you don't have something, let me show you how to create something. When is the last time you went to Walmart and there was nothing for sale? When's the last time you went to the grocery store and nothing was for sale? When's the last time you went to the mall? When's the last time you went to Amazon.com? When the last time you went to eBay? When you go to a retailer, when you go to a business, I don't care if you go to a doctor's office. What's the doctor got for sale? Pharmaceuticals, doctor's appointments, referrals to specialists. Doctors make money all kind of ways. Wherever you go in this world and patronize somebody else, they're going to have something for sale. Go to the chiropractor. What's he going to have for sale? He can align your neck, your back. So you a business, huh? What do you have for sale? What do you have for sale? And if you don't know the answer to that, get some help. www.blackwomenequalpay.com. Get some help. Don't keep being a business with nothing to sell. When you got experience that you can sell. When you got advice that you can sell. When you got motivation and inspiration, and yes, they do sell, that you can sell. Do you know one of the highest priced items in the world? Something that everybody has. One of the most expensive things to buy in the world is a listening ear. Why do you think therapists make so much money? Because a lot of people just want somebody to listen to them. Has anybody ever told you you're a good listener? Is this clicking for anybody? Because it's arguably one of the most important lessons that if you want to live the life of your dreams, that you're going to have to learn is that everything you think, say, and do is worth something. Everything you think, everything you say, and everything you do, every movement, every idea, every utterance. Let me show you something. So every 3 months, I plan my vision, right? And I know a lot of you don't do it because I don't just do it in my head. I do it in writing. I bring my team together. I think about what's my next 5 steps, what's important right now, all of that. So I said, well, I'm going to show my clients, right, how to plan their vision. So I did a webinar for my clients on how to plan their business, how to plan their vision. So I said, you know what? People really need a planner. They need something to help them plan a vision and be consistent. So I said, okay, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I said, I'm going to create a notebook for myself where I can keep up with my notes every time I plan my vision. Then I said, well, wait a minute. I said, if I need it, then how many other people need it? Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? So I'm here to show you something real quick. I'm going to show you how it went from an idea for myself to an idea for myself and my clients to an idea for the rest of the world. All because that's the way I think. So this is my vision journal. 7 steps to bringing your vision to fruition. And it goes on sale next week. And I took the video that I did with my clients. See, this is about doing the work before you find the photos. I gave them some rules for creating their vision board. And then I included the webinar that I did with my clients. And then I gave them room to write. And this is a 12-month journal that started out being an idea for me. And then I went from, well, if I need it, who else needs it? Then I went to, well, if my clients need it, don't other people in the world need it? So right now, I want you to stop. And I want you to think about something you have for yourself that you're probably using, and you're probably thinking, well, if I'm using it for me, don't other people need this too? See, guys, we're living in a world market. And I love it so much because you got access to 8 billion people on this planet. Even people in third world countries have access to technology through cell phones. You got social media, websites, apps, software. And that's one of the things we're going to teach you in the certification is how to leverage technology to build your residual income. We live in a world where 20 years ago, it would take a supercomputer to do what your phone does right now. So the hard question is, are you leveraging this nowadays technology to line your pockets? Your barrier to wealth is lower than it's ever been in 1,000 years. I'm going to say since the time of Jesus, it ain't been this easy to get paid. Are y'all listening to me? You can literally run your whole business on a cell phone. What's your excuse? You can literally sell product 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What's your excuse? When I said I wanted to create as many 7-figure earners as I could, I knew that it was possible because not only are we living in a world where you got 14-year-olds making $1 million, but we live in a world where technology, you don't need to have a brick and mortar anymore. You don't have to have a small business loan anymore. You don't have to buy $1,000 listing in the yellow pages anymore. If you really want to be rich and you're willing to make a small sacrifice and say to yourself, I'm going to take all my extra money and get the knowledge I need to build a business the right way, you can do it. And I know people don't like when you point out how very easy it is. The biggest thing you got to fight is your own mind. Can you win? Yes or no? Say it in the chat. Your biggest adversary is you. The person you're going to have to fight from sun up to sundown, it ain't your haters, it ain't your family, it's that man in the mirror. It ain't your job, it's not your friends. Your biggest obstacle is and will always be your inner me, that voice on your shoulder. Can you win? And sometimes you need some help to fight that voice. And sometimes you need some help to breathe life into your vision. And sometimes you need some help to help you price your stuff right. And sometimes you need some help to believe that abundance is your birthright. Sometimes you need some help to remind you that somebody somewhere in this world will pay you 10, 15, 20, 25, and $50,000 just for your time. Let me tell you why you need to be reminded. The world has you set on minimum wage. Somebody say, ouch. That's why they set a minimum wage. That minimum wage is a mind trick, right? Minimum wage is set at a minimum so that when you start making $20 an hour, you say to yourself, I'm making good money. And when you start making $30 an hour, you say to yourself, oh, I'm making good money. And when you start making $40 an hour, you say to yourself, oh, I'm really getting paid now. And when you start making six figures a year, you say to yourself, I'm among the elite. See, because you're so much further than minimum wage. So let's forget the minimum and let's say the new baseline is 1 million. Somebody say, wow. So instead of you trying to come up from $7 and $8 an hour, you say to yourself, what do I need to do to generate 7 figures and then 8 figures and then 9 figures and then 10 figures? Because as long as you measure yourself on minimum wage, you have bought the stigma. You have bought the conjecture. You have bought this theorem. This is exactly what they want you to do. They want you to say, I'm making $100,000. That's good money. And they're not telling you that if you go start your own business, if you take the same knowledge and energy, working 40 and 50 and 60 hours over here, the sky's the limit over there. And not only that, you'll do it much faster. You're not going to do it overnight. But in them same 16 years, it took for me to make 100,000 in corporate America. In 6 years, I made $1 million by myself. It took me 6 years. Took me 16 working for them. And actually, I've been working since I was 14, left corporate America when I was 44. So it really took me 30 years compared to 6. So I did it 5 times faster working for me. You got to stop buying what they selling, because they selling it. Because if everybody in the world realized just how much potential you have, wouldn't be nobody working at McDonald's. Wouldn't be nobody working at the grocery stores. Wouldn't be nobody driving Uber. Wouldn't be nobody to clean their house. Wouldn't be nobody to keep their kids. If the secret ever got out that everybody on this planet has the capacity to generate 7 figures and beyond simply by taking what they know, what they're good at, and turning it into revenue. But that's the lessons they don't teach you. That's why they drive you to college, so you can learn how to work for somebody else. Because if they ever teach you how to make money, somebody say, wow, it's deep, ain't it? It's deep. You see, they don't teach you how to make money in elementary school. They don't teach you how to make money in middle school. They don't teach you how to make money in high school. You go off to these institutions of higher learning. And my baby called me yesterday and she was like, Mom, you paid $26,000 worth of tuition last year, and that ain't got nothing to do with her bills, her rent, her car, her insurance, her phone. I said, yeah. Multiply that by 2 because I got twins. They wanted to go to college. I said, I'm going to send you where you want to go. They're not going to teach you what you need to know. I know it's hard to hear, especially if you was like me and worked a job all your life, but it's a necessary lesson. And I wish anybody would have told me the same thing I'm telling you 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. 9 years ago, I had to find my way. You got plenty of examples out there. You don't have to do this by yourself, but you do have to do it. If if you want to live a different life. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. Make sure if you're ready to do something different, go to www.blackwomenequalpay.com. Register to get some information about the $1 million grant subsidies we're giving away right now to help you get the certification, the credibility, the residual income, the knowledge you need to build a real business, a real profitable online business. You see, 9 years ago, when I started building businesses online, I felt like Noah. People thought social media was temporary. I made my first $1 million online. I still had naysayers. Oh, social media is not going to be around. I kept making money. Social media is not going to be around. And then, boom, here comes COVID. And everybody got to run their business online. Do you believe me now? Do you believe me now? Been telling y'all for 9 years to seek shelter online. That I didn't care if you had a salon, you still got to be generating revenue online. And I don't care if you got a restaurant, you still need to find a way to generate revenue online. I don't care if you're a baker, a chef, a shoe shine man. You better find a way to generate some online revenue, because that's the only thing that exists. And now it's really the only thing that exists. www.blackwomenequalpay.com. Get your application in now. I will see you guys first thing in the morning. If you haven't shared this broadcast, if you're not interested in the certification, share the link, invite somebody else. Give somebody else an opportunity to build generational wealth. Love you guys. Have a great evening.